Did the cutting of the trees at the Philip Johnson house come under the Harvard protocol, and if so, how was that handled?
Well, Harvard agreed to put the Johnson house under the protocol when they purchased it. And the trees were determined to be way beyond anything Philip Johnson had envisioned. They were actually planted after his residence, and they were not in good shape. They were beginning to threaten the structure. So in the context of their current project, which is to make the Philip Johnson house habitable for visiting professors as a residence, I agreed that the trees, I didn't object to the trees coming out.
So the process was Harvard voluntarily put the house with the program, and then they came to you with the proposal, and then you reviewed it, and then they went ahead. So
Yeah.
they were very cooperative in the whole process.
Yeah, they were. I mean, if you're familiar with the Johnson house, it's all plywood walls,
Oh, yeah.
and the house is inside, not visible from the street. So when Larry Tribes and his wife put the house on the market, we were very concerned about how to preserve it. I mean, we were ready to initiate a landmark study, recognizing that landmarking that building would only protect what was publicly visible, which would be the plywood enclosure, not the real significant part inside. So the Harvard protocol gives us involvement over the restoration of the interior of the landscape that's behind that wall and the interior of the house. And they've consulted with us repeatedly. We've been out to the house repeatedly to look at their plans and approve what they're doing.
And is that for just that house, or is that all buildings in the protocol? You have consultative a role in the interior?
No, typically we don't get involved in the interior. We don't, but in this case, we did. And Harvard recognized the really unique circumstances of this house.
Ms. Meyer?
To follow up on Charlie's question, just to figure out the context here. So the trees are under the protocol, and you okay them to get cut down, but are those in the public realm? I mean, does the public can they weigh in on the trees, or was it posted that they're going to be cut down?
Well, no, these are private. These aren't street trees. These are trees on private property. So Harvard had no obligation to notify anyone. And in the commission, the commission under its own jurisdiction doesn't regulate plant material at all, or under very limited circumstances. So if it had been a landmark, they still wouldn't have had to come before the commission. But in the context of this review with me, we went to the site, we looked at the original landscape design that Johnson had put together when he built the house, and the evolution of that landscape, and we looked at the trees, and I had to say, yeah, I don't object. These trees are a problem, and are going to become more of a problem, which is a shame that trees of that size and that proximity to a very fragile structure are pretty obviously a problem.